in light of all of the conversations that we're having in America, and the fact that tomorrow they're going to have a rally downtown at the historical black college, so you can hear the stories, the pain of black people, so you can relate to what they've been through, what they go through, what we've been through. I'm them, and I'm not even. I don't care. I don't even know why you're doing it. But bec- if you have to ask me a question about what I've been through, that means you haven't studied anything. You haven't looked at history, or you don't understand history, or you've been watching the history and understanding the history as it's been whitewashed, sanitized for your education, edification, as opposed to understanding that you can look right outside your door, you can watch television, you can see anything every day and understand there's a great deal of pain and inequity in America, especially when it comes to people of color, specifically black people, the indigenous, Native Americans, Chicanos. And if you don't see that, if you haven't understood that, if you just woke up yesterday, you might be able to get away with that. But if you're 20 years old or older, you've got to know. You've got to have seen something that said something's wrong and people are being treated like shit. So either you're complicit through no fault of your own sometimes because you didn't have the ability to change anything, at least you think you didn't, but you didn't speak up though. You didn't know what to say or do. Or you're complicit by making sure that the status quo was maintained as long as everything was comfortable. Or you felt guilty and you did some stuff in the periphery, which is what's about to be done now. Everybody's going to be doing the periphery action again because we're doing the March thing, and I hear you. I don't give a damn about you hearing me. I need you to feel me. I need you to feel the anger, the pain, the frustration I'm about to lay down. And my frustration isn't just with the racist white person or the moderate white person. My anger is also with the disconnected, delusional white person. My and not understanding white person, but it also is with the black and brown people that have played into this and played their parts just the way they've been designed. And even when told not to do it, they still did it. And even some of you Negroes, I'm going to specifically talk about some of you Negroes, have played the part even though you were told don't do that. That hurts. That doesn't help. That hinders. Go into that with respect to my own story because I think it's necessary for you. I think there are people who watch me. I got a phone call this morning about somebody and I said, bruh, the white guy, I said, bruh, maybe you forgot who I was and what I was doing, where I was when all this was going on, when you had an opportunity, when you were in charge before, and now you want to run again. Now you want to elevate to the next level. Maybe you forgot who I was when I was saying what I was when I was right then and I'm right now. So I'm gonna lay it out for you so you understand who it is when I speak to you, both black and you young whippersnappers, young black folks who think y'all didn't get it done. You think we didn't say that to the Negroes before us? You think I wasn't upset with my own pop, who was a bad man? Until I turned 50 years old, looked back and went, damn, now I understand what he was doing. But my father never spoke to me in a way that was understandable about what he was going through because he would literally suffered in silence. I'll be damned if I'm going to suffer in silence. I'm coming for it. I'm coming for you, and I'm coming for that pain. If I'm feeling the pain, you should too. because you allowed it. I'm going to start out by saying I got that whooping, that paddling, that 10 strokes on my ass when I was 6 years old in Columbus, Ohio, from drinking from a white-only water fountain. I was just a young man, not knowing nothing, just as innocent as I wanted to be. I didn't know I came from Detroit. Everybody was black there. I don't know what the hell white-only meant. It was on a water fountain in Columbus, Ohio. And I got the drink, and next thing I know, I'm getting snatched up and taken upstairs and bent over. I mean, I'm talking about unceremoniously. Got my ass lifted. And from that moment on, I was a holy terror. Because I'm not stupid, and I will get back at you. I will mess your game up. I don't give a damn who you are. You bleed like I bleed. And I cause teachers havoc. I cause pain. I cause my own pain. And somebody said, well, you could have made life easier. And I said, yeah, I could. I could have done a whole lot of things for myself, I'm sure. In fact, I'm going to tell you about that one in just a second. But in 7th grade, a teacher punched me in the stomach. Black man. He'd had enough of my shit. He'd had enough of the fact that I asked too many questions in his history class. He punched me in the stomach. I've had enough. Not, I need to take you to the side and teach you even more, son, because I know that, because I'm a black history teacher, and you're in my class, and I need to make sure that you are the one who takes this message out there and lets people know I'm not giving you all the history because they won't let me or I'm afraid. He couldn't say, son, I need you to understand I can only do what I can do and keep my job. But what I will do is I'll direct you somewhere you don't tell nobody. In fact, you can even whisper it. I'm not going to tell you that life is fair. In fact, I'm going to tell you just the opposite. But I will tell you, go out there and learn. Get that history. Understand what's being done and who's doing it, how it gets done and how it didn't get done. And then go change something, son. Because I'm not in a position to make that happen. But you're the next wave. That's what I'm going to tell some of you young folks as you pass this on. So that kid graduated from an all-black high school. And by the way, I didn't graduate from an all-black high school because they kicked me out in the 12th grade. They sent me to an almost all-white high school out in the burbs. So I went to East High School in Columbus, Ohio, and then they sent me way out to Walnut Ridge because in the 12th grade, when I say I was a terror, I scared black people because something just wasn't right on the continuum. And I kept jacking folks up because even back then, you understand, in the 70s, we still were fighting that fight. I'm talking about I graduated in 74. I laid down in a bus in front of a bus at Eastmore High School, in Eastmore Junior High School, in the 8th grade. In front of a bus, y'all ain't going nowhere. They dragged my ass off. If you don't get out of the street, you can't take your finals. I don't give a damn about taking my last. Y'all not going nowhere today. I'm protesting. Something's wrong, and it needs to be addressed. Nobody told me something's wrong and you need to change it. Something's wrong and needs to be fixed. I didn't know what it was, but I damn sure knew something was wrong in the 8th grade. I was that kid. I have been discriminated against so many times in my life that I was aware of and fought. And I kept on stroking. I didn't care. I went in the military. People think the military is fair. Nothing could be further from the truth. They think it's non-discrimination. There's no discrimination going in the military because people get promoted. Nothing could be further from the truth. If you think Colin Powell didn't sell his soul to ascend to that lofty position, if you think he hasn't kissed much ass of white supremacy if you didn't think he didn't carry the weight, understand what he did. So that was the military piece, and I did that for 10 years. And again, it's hard to break away from who you are, and I didn't. I shouldn't even gone to the military, but guess what? Ohio State, that ridiculousness, that white supremacy piece. The brothers came up here to UT and let me sit on a panel, and they were all from Ohio State because Dr. Moore invited them and let me sit on a panel. I was the only person on the panel that wasn't a master's or doctorate. I listened to more nonsense about UT and listened to another conversation about how bad things were. And I was like, why are we here? Y'all the Negroes that can change things, or at least change your world. Why are we talking about this again? I'm tired of this conversation. And I told them then, I ain't been invited back to no panel discussions since. That was the last major panel I was ever allowed to sit in on, because I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear and make you feel good and make you comfortable in my uncomfortability. I sit in on the panel with the Negroes from Ohio State, and they said at the time, Ohio State was really, really racist. I'm like, I'll be damned. I was there when this was going on, youngsters. I was at Ohio State when they didn't buy enough books, and they made sure that, guess what? You're going to fail because you don't have a study group, and you ain't in with the white kids, and you're going to fail because you can't find nobody to even study because we ain't got no books. There ain't nothing online back in the 70s. You understand? So you don't have the opportunities everybody else is going to have, even from the standpoint that you being here in college. And I realized this is some nonsense. Y'all are full of crap. I dropped out and went in the military because that was all that was left. And the war was done. Because guess what? So I wasn't going to the war because I'm not fighting for a country that don't give a damn about me. Don't care about the black and brown people around this nation or around the world. I'm not fighting for this nonsense. You're not going to hold up the greatest country in the world bullshit with me. Not happening. I'm not fighting for that. If I'm fighting for something, I'm fight for my family, fight for my community, fight for the people I care about. And guess what? Some of them don't care about themselves, but I still fight for them because some of them have been misled, miseducated, don't know no better. So after I did that military stint, I went out in the world and started doing my thing because I've always been good at everything I put my hands on. I overly achieve at everything I've ever done because that's what I was trained to do. That's who I am and always been. I went into restauranting. I was the best restaurateur at KFC. I was bad, man. They sent the president of the company to see me because I brought the house down. I was like, look, there's discrimination going on down here, and you sent me into this place. Shit. I turned the store around that hadn't passed an inspection in 6 years. We had the best scores in all of Texas for 6 months in a row, every month. I had the President's Award that was given to me by a computer, but I couldn't get a raise. I couldn't get a promotion. They were sending people through my store to get trained in a store that hadn't passed. And I said, let me tell you what we're going to do. If I don't get promoted, this is how I operate, because I'm not coming to you with no weak shit. I don't care. This is what we're going to do. I'm sitting with them, sitting down around the table talking to me, about me, with me at the table, about what they're going to do about me and my demands, because I don't play. I'm not asking you. I'm demanding. I said, after they got through talking to each other, I slammed my hand on the table. I said, let me make y'all understand something. This is the vice president of the company. They're lawyers. I don't give a damn about y'all. I can move on and make something else happen. I don't give a damn. I'm coming. I said, if I don't get a promotion and a raise, y'all got 3 months to make it happen in a big way. I'm talking about a big raise, a big promotion. I'm suing the shit out of y'all. I've already filed the charges, and I'm not withdrawing shit. And I had told them, I had done some, yeah, I'm carrying a gun in this damn store. Yeah, I carry a gun. Well, they tried to call my bluff. We sat down with the arbitrator. I said, okay. Here's the funny part. I had a black lawyer in San Antonio. I was over in the Broncos. That store's closed now. But sadly, my black lawyer, because here's where we get bamboozled. My black lawyer didn't show up at the arbitration meeting. His ass still wanted some money, but he didn't show up for me. What you doing, bruh? I had him suspended. I got his license taken for a year for not showing up for that meeting. I got his ass jacked. Because cross me, and I know I'm right, it's going to be on. That's that black man piece. So we didn't we while we're doing arbitration, I'm giving him my numbers, telling him what I'm doing. The arbitrator looked at the people from Kentucky Fried Chicken and said, why aren't you having him train everybody else across the country doing this? If he could do all this and you admit he did it, why don't you let him do everybody else like this? I'm like, yeah, they don't care. They would cut off their nose and spite their face. They ain't trying to make money. They're trying to make sure that black man don't get ahead, that black man doesn't make them look bad when I was making them look good. Both my bosses got promoted behind my numbers. I didn't, but I got my money. I moved on. I turned around and sued Jack in the Box the same way for the same reason. Well, you just suing people. You damn right, because guess what? Discrimination is happening at them. Every one of these organizations, every one of these companies is happening. I've told kids, I said, man, let me tell you something. Let me tell you how to work this piece. Walk your happy ass into McDonald's. Take that line cook job and let them promote you up to fries and cashier. And when they don't promote you and you've been everything you're supposed to be, knocking it down every day, and as good as I know that you are, when they don't promote you, you sue that ass and show them that you've done superior work. Document it and sue them. Take them to court. You might have to get an attorney, most likely not, because they are afraid. But find an attorney, put his name on something. Shit, you know what? You know as much as they do. You can do the homework. You can do the stuff. And that goes on. Trust me on this one, because I have sued some companies. In fact, I moved from there through my restaurateurs, that whole piece being in several years, and that I moved on to. I was air traffic controller, so I moved on to air traffic dispatcher. I was at Southwest Airlines, and they called me up for a job at Burlington Northern Santa Fe Railroad. Now, you want to talk about some rednecks. The railroad ain't nothing but some rednecks. The first day I walked in the Burlington Northern Santa Fe Railroad, the BNSF, in Seattle, Washington, after driving forever, I walked in a midnight shift. They told me to show up for the midnight shift. I drove it across the country. I had about 3-4 hours sleep. I walked into a place with a guy named Dickie D-Wall. They had little cubicles. Used to work in. They shut the door. They shut the door because people used to yell and scream at people out on the railroad from the dispatching center all the time, cussing folks out, the whole deal. I walked into that place, and the very first thing he said to me as I opened the door to go down and sit down with him as a trainee, nigga, what you doing here? You ain't working in here. I walked out. I'm brand new. I'm in probation. I ain't gonna walk away from this 60,000 year job in 1995. I'm cool. Whatever. I'm gonna get paid no matter what. I ain't got shit to say about this right now. Right now. Understand? That's gonna be the last nigga from you though. Trust me on this. So I went to the supervisor and said, hey man, he don't want me in there working with him. They put me somewhere else. I said, oh, and by the way, he called me a nigga. Well, that didn't go over well, but what the hell. I went through that kind of nonsense for about 4 years, but then I got promoted. I got out of probation. I was literally like 2 or 3 days out before I got out of probation. And one of them pulled that same shit on me again. Talk about what I was doing on the railroad that wasn't right, and I didn't set it up for him, or blah, 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 nigga this and nigga that. I said, oh, I'm about to get out of probation. And that's when I start planning. I'm not going to let this go. Don't get it twisted. I ain't your nigga. I ain't never been nobody's nigga. And you will pay for this one. I'm going to catch your ass out in the parking lot. I'm going to catch your ass at home. I'm going to catch you somewhere. You might get better, but you'll never get well, motherfucker. That's who I am. Nigga me one more time. Well, that didn't get to happen because they fired him for being a drunk right after that. Damn it. But anyway, I stayed there for 4 years doing that dispatching thing. And I was really, really good. But I saw my brother get fired for the most nonsensical bullshit you ever wanted to see. And we filed charges with EEOC. and some cats that were there at the time. A guy named two black people, by the way. Here's the funny part: there was black men in charge because that's what they do. They like to run us headlong into black men. And a guy named Ricky Gardner, highly paid, and another brother. I'll remember his name in a second, but it's two black men, and they had us go talk to them. 9 of us. And guess who our attorney was? At the time, representatives, because a brother named Dudley Williams said he went to church with Royce West, state senator. We carrying weight. We gonna get it done. Royce turned us on to Cheryl Watley. She was up for a state senator, a state Supreme Court position at the time. But she was also involved in a case that was going to take a whole bunch of money, and she was broke as a church mouse, and we didn't know. And that's important. Because as we went through that lawsuit with her, we come to understand all she was trying to do was get paid so she could catch up on her bills. Because she had been locked up in this lawsuit. And I'm saying Cheryl Watley's name for a reason, because she's teaching law up in Oklahoma, or was. She got some books on it. Go look her up. I'm saying that because black folks who are broke will sell out other black folks in a heartbeat. And out of the 9 of us that took the deal to walk away from that company as opposed to the company changing its behavior, I was the one that didn't. I said, hell no, they not changing shit, and the people who are still there are going to suffer, and I'm not taking no deal. They said, but we already have a deal. I said, no, I'm not doing, no, I don't like what we're doing. And she said, we got to take the deal, because I was the big boy. I was the one who I didn't have nothing wrong. See, I'd done so well at my job that I had a letter from a gentleman that had been a division superintendent 3 days before they made us leave, that said no one had ever done anything like what I had done before. So they's like, well, why'd you ask that man to leave then? And she had no answers. She wasn't willing to fight. She wanted to get paid, as opposed to fighting and getting us paid. So I've been going through for the last 20 years fighting that lawsuit. It's Burlington Northern, it's Franklin v. BNSF. If you want to look it up, it's for real out there. But the bigger picture is the Negroes that were involved, both at the company, black men, and the Negroes who were involved outside the company, Royce West, Cheryl Watley, nothing. Nothing from any of them in the way of help. They helped each other. But the black people who were suffering suffered continuously and are still suffering today because they got no help from the people who were set up to make sure nothing happened. That's that, well, they're black, therefore everything must be cool piece that we fell in line with because of Barack Obama. Well, everything's cool, but wait, everything was cool. Why are we still where we are? Why are we out in the streets fighting about police brutality? Didn't he change everything? Didn't he go get my brother's creepers? Yeah, I said what I said. Look up those Negroes. See how much work they've done in the community. Oh, man, so much giving, so much. The hell with that. There's giving and sacrifice. I sat in on a panel. I had one of those meetings a couple of years ago, several years ago. I love how the Negroes get mad at me. 150 black men and brown men in a room at my brother's creepers meeting, where they're all extolling their virtues and how wonderful they did and all the work they've done. And I said, did y'all hear the brothers up there just now tell you what the problem was? The fact that there were no black men around when they were about to go out in the streets and do what they did. Did y'all not understand that of the 150 black men, if y'all would move your happy asses back into the community that you moved away from as soon as you get 2 nickels to rub together, if you were in that community as opposed to thinking the grass was greener on the other side, and take your black asses and brown asses back into those communities and did what you do somewhere else and take your abilities and skills back in those communities and help them, instead of thinking as long as you water the grass somewhere else it's going to be greener and not in your own community. Water the grass where it is, tend to that lawn where it is, and it will grow. And by the way, sometimes you need to recognize sometimes that dandelion, that weed ain't a weed. That weed can provide. You need to recognize how you've been trained and how you treat even each other. I was told we're doing all we can. We writing checks. Brother said, ain't no check coming to see me at 3 o'clock in the morning. Again, they don't invite me back to those meetings. I was there. When I landed in Austin in 2000, the first day of 2000. I brought my lawsuit with me because I was still hot. I was just behind it. I went to the local NAACP and talked to Nelson Linder when I got here. He referred me to a brother who was an attorney, at least sorta. And that Negro almost got his ass whooped behind my lawsuit. Because when you go somewhere, you're supposed to be prepared. And when you get that I'm paying you good money and you don't know what to say, you don't know what to ask, and your questions are asinine, when there was only one question that had to be asked at the time and you didn't do it, I'm troubled. But I got here and I told a whole lot of people about this. I talked to the NAACP, I talked to them at the national level, I talked to everybody. Look, this lawsuit can change everything because it is about intent and the bullshit they were trying to sell with respect to that. I said, intent is nonsense. Unless you can explain where your intent came from. That didn't happen either. So while I'm fighting that suit, I'm also trying to change what's happening out here in the world. I became a financial advisor, went out and got my Series 7 and Series 66 securities license, started selling securities, and got caught up. I was at a meeting one time, a white guy named Gerald Doherty was there. Because I'm trying to find out what's happening in the community, because I was out there doing my thing, trying to make some connections, because I really didn't know nobody in Austin back in the day. And this white man chased me down the hallway. He like, who are you? What do you, man, where'd you come from? Based on the questions I'd asked. I told him, he said, well, you need to go talk to Pike Powers. I said, well, who's Pike Powers, and why should I talk to him? He said, well, based on the fact that you seem to have the right kind of questions, and the black community needs you out there speaking for them, blah, blah, blah. Okay. I'll go. And I did. I sat down with Pike Powers, and Pike said, here's what I always tell people when you know it's about to be on with respect to your integrity. When they ask you what you want, what they're saying is, how much are you? How much are you going to cost me for me to control who you are and what you do? Because you're scary. You're smart and forceful and fearless. You're scary. You're the Negro we're afraid of more than anything else, because if you ever get loose, we won't be able to control the masses, because the masses just want somebody to follow. And if you don't believe me, go in any church on a Sunday after we get through with this COVID piece and see how many Negropians up in there preaching to people. They got a Cadillac outside that costs $70,000. They got a Mercedes outside that costs $120,000. They got serious shit, and their neighborhood is broke down and breaking down even further. In fact, the people in their community are being left further out. Go in any one of the churches, then holler at me. So Pike said, "What do you want?" And I said, and I know I know the okie doke. I said, I want an uplift of my people. And he didn't know what the hell that meant. He was like, oh shit, this one, oh God. He whipped out a legal notepad and started writing shit down about how he could turn HT into UT East and all this kind of carrying on. I said, yeah, well, thanks a lot. I'll take that with me. I'll take it into consideration. And I left Mr. Powers, Pike Powers. Look him up. Managing partner of Fulbright and Jaworski at the time. I left him right there. He said, you know, you're in financial advising. Yeah, I said, yeah. He said, you know, you could handle our accounts. You could, well, I can introduce you to our guy in Houston. His name is, and he went down the list, boopity boop. And you go down, I said, damn. You mean I could have assets under management of over $300 million? Assets under management when they pay you a check right up front from day one? Damn. Every year? Damn. I could sell my soul for that? That's serious dollars. That's mid six figures day one of every year? Damn. Or I could sleep at night. I know I could done some stuff with that money. But how long do you dance with the devil? When does it all come apart? When do you say, I don't know what the hell I did, but my people still suffer? My people still suffer now anyway. because they still listen to Negropians up there in the pulpit. They listen to agent provocateurs provided to them by the city. They listen to people from universities that do work, but just enough to not do work, not to change no shit. So, in that process, I became the president of the Black Austin Democrats. I walked into that meeting once. They told me, you need to become a lady by the name Phyllis Thomas, beautiful lady, but she left town. I had enough. I've got to go. She said, you need to go be part of the Black Austin. I said, there's an organization of Black Democrats? She said, yeah. Come on down. I went. In the first meeting, there was literally 5 people in the room, and one of those was a visitor besides me, being run by Darwin McKee. No leadership, no nothing. Joy Harden was there, and Robin Emerson, and I told Robin, I said, this is sad. Y'all need some leadership. She said, you want it? I said, be careful what you wish for. She said, I ain't scared. I said, me neither. And I went about recruiting people that year. In fact, some of you may have heard me on KZI. We'll talk about that in a second, too. KZI, the voice of Austin. But I went about recruiting people. 75 people joined that year. And we had an election that hadn't happened in years because they didn't have elections. We finally had an election, and I was voted in as president. And we had meetings that were so large that we had to have a microphone. People were sitting on the hallways. It was blowed up. We had 2 meetings on Saturday where we had people from around the state come. They'd never seen anything like that before. They were running for, and they came to our meeting at the fire department, Union Fire Hall. 2. But what's funny was about that time, Negropians start showing up from the Democratic Party when they realized, oh my God, that Black Austin Democrat thing, shit, they're the biggest Democratic Party in the city. And they didn't even realize we were having meetings. And they sent their minions back in. Their people. Look like us. And they went about, and get this, we gonna change the bylaws. Bylaws hadn't been changed in 20-some years. We gonna change the bylaws. I knew exactly what the game was. Y'all got to get rid of the black man right now because he's going off the, you say you do too much, you say too much. When's the last time y'all did anything? So you mad because I'm getting something done, that people are joining up, that we're holding it, every month we'd have another elected official in that room holding them accountable. And understand, I'm not a Democrat. I don't give a damn about that. I saw an organization that needed some leadership, and I took it over. But I don't give a damn about the Democrats. Y'all don't give a damn about me. That was all wordplay. And I became the executive director for membership for the Texas Coalition of Black Democrats. I was supposed to be the president because Morris Overstreet and I were the only ones who should have been the president. No one else had even been to the meetings. No one ever made enough meetings to be qualified. I was the only one at the meeting. But I saw them, the Democrats, the black people, suspend the rules so that they could put a climber in, a political climber in that place. They didn't do shit, and were designed not to do shit. That's your black Democrats at the statewide level. And that's why I know all these people out there, Sylvester and all. I took bicycle rides with Congress people, with state senators and so on. All that. Not impressed. I ain't seen no firebrands. I ain't seen nobody go off. I know them all. I know all the people y'all name drop. I know all of them. And I've been here for 20 years, and I don't give a damn. That's your Democratic piece. I was also involved in the piece of working with Youth Unlimited with my kids, where the people from UT who had a diversity division, they created that diversity division. I don't even know what that was about. That was a big money suck to say we're going to do something at UT. They had a $50 million budget. Gregory Benson was up there at the time. He's working with Michael Lofton. They had some kind of tete-a-tete, not getting along, neither one of them doing what they were supposed to be doing, everybody pointing fingers at each other. I'm out here doing my work, helping kids. I can't get help from nobody. And I'm actually getting something done. I got the numbers to prove it. But UT finally realized that he was elected out to the school board, and he's doing some stuff out in Del Valley. Well, let's go out there in Del Valley and see what we can do. So Dr. Moore brought his folks out here, and we gonna work with you. We gonna support you. I got that from Dr. Moore. We gonna support you. I said, okay, cool. And I gave him a proposal, and I was told immediately, we ain't got no money. Then why in the hell did you come out here talking about support? What the hell do you think support comes from when you come? Man, I don't give a damn about sending my kids to China. My kids don't need to go to China. Don't tell me about your trips. I don't give a shit about your trips. You know what I do care about? I care about enough money to help my kids do what helps them right now get past the trauma they suffer every day. Gave him a proposal. That Negro gave me the run around. I ain't spoke to him since, and don't plan to. And I hope y'all see this, because I know what I say to be true. I don't give a damn if you interview him or pass him on to me, and if you come for me, it's gonna get nastier. I don't give a damn. Look at that diversity division at UT and ask yourself a question. Have you increased the numbers of black and brown people dramatically since in the last 15 years when you were getting 15 mil a year of people going to UT? And what have you helped in the community with respect? We got organizations after organizations after organizations that they've created. And they ain't did a damn thing in my community. Not a damn thing. Not a help. Not one time. I know it to be true because I live it every day. I got elected to the school board out here. I fought white folks out here to get on the school board because they were coming for it. In fact, the reason, if you go back and look at why they all left the school board, the reason they left the superintendent, assistant superintendent, and 2 board members, the president and assistants, the vice president left at the same time, recorded history, it's because I was going to put their asses in jail. I don't play. I'm not playing with none of y'all. I got busy. I get busy right now. And I still have to fight this community even when I'm doing the right thing for the community. I fight the community I'm in. My wife and I sued Central Health to get health care out here. I don't need no damn health care. I got health care. I'm fighting for a community. They still fighting me. I'm fighting to get HEB. We don't need HEB. Why are you jamming up HEB? HEB is emblematic of the problem. That's what I've been going through. That's what I go through daily. I fight my people. I fight y'all. I fight white supremacy. I fight the whole damn battle. I've gone through cancer, had my spinal cord fused, and I'm still standing. And I'm still fighting. And I'm not through yet. You want to help me? Write me a check. You want to help me? Ask me what the hell it is will change the circumstances, and I will tell you. I will give you directions, specific directions. When you call me, though, if you've been in this game, and I know you've been playing games, it won't be a nice conversation. I just got an email from UT yesterday. We know you're influential. Really? No. I got answers. I got solutions. I've already done it. Del Valley has changed because of the work that was put in this household. Me and my wife, in this household, the sacrifices we made in this house, in spite of it all. I drove a raggedy car for about 5 years. The car out front right now needs alignment and new tires. I'm not doing it because I'm not putting money in my own pocket because I don't need it, because the community needs it more than I do. That's how I operate. But when you come to me and ask me what you've been through and what do I need to help you, write me a check so that I can do the work I know needs to get done. Give me a check so I can go train some other people to be educated in how it's done, who does it, and what's being done to them, so these young people will understand how to make something happen for themselves. Write me a check. Otherwise, you ain't doing shit. Because at the end of the day, the black community has suffered because you took resources from me and you benefited from them. You benefited from my labor. You benefited from my knowledge. You benefited from my tax dollars. I didn't get shit out of that. Just as I'm not getting Central Health right now, and I pay Central Health taxes. Ain't none in Del Valley. That's how it works. I pay for what you get out of my taxes. I didn't get to university when it should have been paid for. I built it, and I couldn't go to it. That's how it's been working all along. So when you ask me, what's the solution? How do I support you? Write me a check. Have a good day.